right now, is hiking in those beautiful mountains. Well, maybe in the morning, not right now. It's a little too hot. San Diego, New York, Columbus, Ohio, Chandler, Arizona. Welcome, all of you guys. Thanks for getting the chat going. Today is all about networking. And so part of the way we're going to do this is we're just going to really hit the chat hard today. We're asking questions, engaging with each other, and being able to do some virtual networking. Good morning, Queen Creek, Judy, Julianne, Rich, good morning. Westchester County, New York, good morning. Lauren, Marana, Arizona, that's North Tucson, good morning. So great, just keep that going, and we are getting moving this morning. Also today, we're going to be asking you to drop in your LinkedIn URL in the chat. So sometime this morning, if you could go out and pull your LinkedIn URL and drop it in the chat, that is another way that we can connect with each other. And so the way you do that is you just go out to LinkedIn and you click on your profile. You can do your picture, but it just go right to your profile. And the URL in the top of the browser is your LinkedIn URL. So there you go. Thank you. See, I think that's Kathy. Oh yeah, Kathy Wright. Exactly. Angela, thank you. Same thing. So if you could just go, excuse me, go out and get your LinkedIn URL, then drop that in the chat today. A couple other tips for you. Private message some people in the chat today. So you can private message people and talk to them online, through this meeting today, but then also follow up with people and talk to them outside of the event. Do some virtual networking, and because it's what we're dealing with right now. We want all of you to be getting out and talking to people. And then all of our speakers today, feel free to connect with them on LinkedIn. They'll drop their URLs as well. And so feel free to connect with them, and they would love to connect with you today. I'm going to throw it over to Sheila Coulomb to talk through some of the tech stuff.
Hey, good morning. I'm Sheila Coulomb, and here's just a couple of reminders. If you are having trouble this morning, you can text our Career Connectors phone number. It's 480-442-5806, and we'll help you. So depending on the device you're using, you have a couple of options. Make sure you locate that chat button, because the discussion is going to be ongoing during the meeting today. And thank you for everyone for being brave and bold and turning video on. We're excited to see you this morning. This is the first week that we're trying the meeting this way, so it should be a lot of fun. If you want, you can play with your settings on how you see the video. There's little icons like a bar, a rectangle, or a grid, so you can play with that and scroll to see the different people. You can go full screen or not. Let's see, there was another. So yeah, in the chat, I think Jessica already said, put your LinkedIn profile so we can connect once we're done here. Play with your video view options. If you came in unnamed or as user, you might go ahead and click. There's 3 little dots in your video screen, and you can rename yourself so we can call you by name when we chat with you, if that's all right. I think that was about it. So enjoy.
All right, thank you. So here we are today. We're going to be doing a lot of networking. So today our event is a little bit different. Sheila kind of mentioned, we typically do more the webinar style, and today we're going to be doing the meeting style. And the whole purpose of that is, one, so we can see each other. So if you're not on video, again, join us on video. And then we can see your beautiful faces, but we'll be doing more networking this way today. And then, because the reason we're doing that is because we brought the networking guide to you guys. So Dave Sherman will be talking about networking from home. And then we have Lisa Marcus is here from National Bank of Arizona. And then Cenlar and Pierce is here. And then we are going to close it out today with Stephen Hatch, has some exciting opportunities, virtual opportunities. And then I will be closing out the day today. So, all right. So we are excited to have Dave Sherman here. Dave, I'm so sorry. We are, I love this picture, Dave. Oh gosh.
Oh man, that was the perfect picture for yesterday.
So Dave, for some reason, I'm so sorry. I don't have your bio in front of me. So I'm
you
having.
know me well enough, you can make it up.
I know. So I'm just going to wing this. It's not the official bio that we have of you, but Dave Sherman and I have worked together. Dave was one of the very first presenters of Career Connectors when we launched almost 11 years ago. And he is larger than life. He is the networking guy if in the Phoenix area. He is a national speaker. He has published multiple books. He is well known throughout the business community as well as the nonprofit community. And he has just made a huge impact in the Phoenix market. So he will tell you his 3 vices. Let me see if I get them right. A good cigar, Diet Mountain Dew, and don't tell him to not drink it. And I think the 3rd is movie buff, but I'm not sure. He'll talk more about that.
Close, but I'll tell
red
you
wine, red wine. It's red wine.
Right, yes.
And he has a beautiful wife and a couple awesome kids. And we are so, so excited to have you here, Dave. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, any of you that are on the East Coast. This is so much fun. First thing I'm going to ask, if possible, is everybody that is presentable, please turn your camera on. Now, I know some of you are going, not a chance in the world. But as you know, I mean, I'm the networking guy. One of the greatest ways to network with people is let them see your face. Okay, it's one of the, I mean, I work for a company, I'll get into all of this, but this is my first soapbox because I get to have a lot of soapboxes today. I work for a company where I spend probably, even before the whole pandemic, I probably spent a good 5 to 6 hours a day on Zoom calls. Because we're a global company. We've got offices all around the country, and we've also got them in London and Sydney. So anytime that I ever did a meeting, I required that people put their video on because I wanted to see their faces. I wanted to see their smiles. So if you are up for it, okay, and from what I could see, most of you are not, and that's okay. If you're up for it, flick on that video, let us see that smiling face, and who cares if you're not wearing pants, okay? See, there you go. I'll admit it. Okay, I just want you to see sweatpants right here. Nice dress shirt, sweatpants down here. And look, I don't even have shoes on. So for the rest of you that are sitting there saying to yourself, oh, I can't turn my camera on. Turn your damn camera on. Oh, sorry, turn your camera on. Yeah, Jessica's going, normally I get to keep control of him because he's in a contained space, but now he's at his house. So now we're in real trouble. All right, I am so thrilled that you guys are here. Any of you that have ever seen me speak before, you're probably wondering why there's not a PowerPoint open, why there's not something on the screen. This particular one, I just figured I didn't want a PowerPoint. I didn't want, you guys staring at, just some blank screen. All I really want you to do is kind of listen to some of the stuff I'm sharing with you. A little bit of background, I've been in the speaking and training world. Wow, I've been in the speaking and training world since '98. And this is just something that I have done for a very long time. Networking has always been my topic of choice. I did this full time until 2012. And after a divorce and the crash in the economy, decided to, it was time to go work for somebody else, which was fine by me. So I worked at a couple of different places and things like that. And right now I currently run the sales training department at MindBody. If you're familiar with us, we are the leading provider of software for gyms, spas, and salons. Now, a lot of you are probably saying to yourself, wow, Dave, really tough industry to be in right now. Yeah, so much so that about 3 weeks ago, they laid off a third of our staff. They laid off almost 750 people about 3 weeks ago. Thank goodness I survived. Woohoo! survival. So yeah, it's been a really interesting pandemic, so to speak. But I also believe that there's a backdrop that I use when I'm in. There was a backdrop I used in the beginning of this when I was in, doing Zoom meetings at MindBody that said, I refuse to let this pandemic get me down. Yeah, it's, I've been stuck in my house. I've left my house for 2 reasons: to go to the store and to go to a golf course. For those of you that are saying, you can't go on a golf course, in Arizona you can. So thank God for that. But I've been in the house, just like everybody else. But I'm sorry. I refuse to, let this thing bring me down. Anything I see on Facebook or LinkedIn that's really negative or so, I just kind of blow right past that because everybody's worth their opinion. But guys, for those of you, I'm assuming most of you are on here, because you are currently in career transition and you're looking for some support and, some tips and some advice on how you can potentially find a job faster. And that's what I want to share with you. But the number one way for you to be able to do this is to have an attitude that, all right, I'll say it as simply as I can, that things don't really suck right now. Okay, they don't. I get it. A lot of stuff going on. You've lost jobs. I understand all of that. But I also believe that a lot of this is, a lot of it's the attitude that you're willing to hold on to. This is why I refuse to have a down attitude, because I'm very, I'm very lucky. Thank God my wife and my kids and most of the people I know are healthy. And, look outside. If you're from Arizona, take 1 second and look outside. Blue skies and sunshine. Okay, yes, it's going to be 194 degrees today, but it will be blue skies and sunshine. My point is, just try, I understand that there are days, let me phrase it to you this way. There are times that my wife and I will be talking about something and I'll be complaining about something stupid. And somebody said to me once about a month ago that I was complaining about something, and he goes, yeah, first world problems. And ever since he said that, that is what has been running through my brain. So for instance, all right, I can't believe I'm even going to admit this. And Jessica's over there going, oh my God, what's this story? I ordered food from Instacart. Okay, Instacart, they deliver food to you. Well, they said they delivered my food and they didn't. And nobody would respond to me. Well, I got kind of upset about it until I started to realize that these are first world problems. And I kind of let it go and eventually got resolved like a week later. And I still buy from Instacart and stuff like that. But I just, I refuse to let, this whole pandemic thing, ruin my life. I'm just not going to let it happen. And I hope, some of this has been, some of these thoughts are, will help you guys, look at this through a, different set of lenses. All right, couple of quick things. We're on Zoom. Jessica, I am assuming at some point, have you had any speakers come and talk anything about Zoom and how to use it and stuff like that?
Not too much. No one's done that talk.
Okay, well, I'll make this, I'm not going to go into it. Obviously, I know about as much about Zoom as almost anybody because of the amount of time I use it. But there's a couple of things that I really want to kind of share with you, because Zoom has become such a prevalent part of our society now that if you're not accustomed to using it, you're looking at this going, oh, I don't want to touch anything. I don't want to accidentally disconnect us, which I have done numerous times. So when I'm on a meeting, I don't touch anything. I just kind of go, whoa, no mouse, no keyboard, because I have hung up on meetings. So far, the largest one was about 145 people. Yeah, I had to answer some questions on that one. So a couple of quick things on Zoom. Number one, anytime you have a Zoom meeting, in my opinion, be presentable enough to turn your video on. And I don't even care, and I'm not even talking just work-wise, because any of you that have ever heard me speak before, one of the things I talk about, and I actually, see, look, I actually have notes. See? Oh, you can't see it because of my billboard. But look, I do have notes. Can you hear that? Those are notes. But one of the things that I always talk about is, and it kind of makes people a little insane when I say this, when you network to find a job, okay, don't try to find a job. Okay, I know that that sounds kind of completely ridiculous, and now you're all starting to question Jessica's sanity about bringing me back so many times, but it's the truth. If you get invited to a virtual happy hour, or you get invited to, like a Gelly event, Gelly's Networking Phoenix, she's got all sorts of stuff going on, or you get invited to, I did one with my high school class, which was really kind of fun. If you're going to go on those things, don't look at these. And I understand you're looking to land jobs and you want to do it as soon as possible. But when you go to these events, don't go into it thinking, hey, I'm going to try and find a job. No, just go to create connections with people. Go just to meet people and find out what people are doing and try to make some connections with those people. And the number one way to make those connections on Zoom is to turn on your video. Okay, because I love seeing people's faces. Now, and the best part about it, the next thing I always like to talk about is, if you haven't done this, if this is something that you're going to do something, a lot of, start looking into your virtual backgrounds. Now, some of you, technologically, you can't do it, or it's just out of your wheelhouse. That's okay. Okay, so don't feel bad, because I'm looking at a bunch of you and you all have really nice backgrounds. But if you put something different in your background, it sets you apart. Like if you happen to look at mine, anybody in this room that knows me, Jessica specifically, I am without a doubt one of the greatest movie buffs you will ever meet in your life. So much so that because of the pandemic, my wife and I are on a mission to watch all 100 movies that AFI, American Film Institute, named as the top 100 movies of all time. There were 43 of them that I had not seen before, and we're currently through 28 of those. So movies is everything for me. So every time I do this, I always have a background that is of movie posters. All right, Jessica, I do have to tell them, I had one that was all the movie posters from all the Marvel movies. But I was immediately abused because I didn't create the background, because it did not have Wonder Woman and it didn't have Captain Marvel on it. The two females in the two movies that, have focused on females in the Marvel universe. So I had to change it, because I knew that all of you'd be looking at me going, what does he have against female superheroes? Nothing. Okay, but you'll notice if you're a movie buff, I guarantee you are looking at my background, looking at that. And if you're a movie buff, that creates a connection between you and I. Like all I can see is James Mattis, because I'm assuming it's Madison, but I can't see the whole last name. He has this beautiful picture, I believe, of the Superstition Mountains in Arizona. All right, Yahoo, getting a thumbs up. So a beautiful picture to look at, something like that. We have Rob L. I don't know what his last name is, but that's okay. Rob's looks like something from either like Antarctica or somewhere really cool. We have Judson, who, unless you have the most beautiful view out of your window, has a really nice backdrop. So my point to all of you is, anytime that you network, you always want to try and be able to set yourself apart. You want to be able to do things that will, oh, there you go. Rob says it's from Alaska. Beautiful picture. You want to do something that separates you from everybody else. The rest of you don't sit here and go, oh, I don't have a backdrop. I must not be doing very well. No, don't go there, because most people don't have backdrops. But if you decide it's something you want to do, just try it out. It's real simple. You can go online and say, for instance, you like cats. Okay, you can actually put cat wallpaper in the search bar, and then when it opens up, click images, and there will be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cat wallpaper. So just try to figure this out. You can do it yourself. It's really fun. Okay, it amazes your friends too. So there you go about my backdrop. Video on. Last thing about Zoom. Zoom is one of the coolest places to be able to have as much fun as humanly possible. I understand. You can probably tell I'm a little shy and reserved, and Jessica has been really helpful in helping to get me out of my shell. No, that's obviously not true. But, I'm not saying to you, be like me. Oh God, no, do not be like me. But my point is, just because you're sitting at home, like right now, I am staring at this little bar about this big, okay, which is my webcam, and I'm literally talking to you, and I can't hear a thing. So I am literally talking to myself. But when you're doing this on a regular Zoom call and everybody's got their audio on, you get to have conversations with people, and this is a great amount of fun. So if you are if you're a current Zoom user, use it as much as you can. Go, because everybody's doing everything virtually. If you're a wine person, there are virtual wine events. If you are a golfer, there's a guy, Tim, cannot remember his last name. There's a friend of mine named Tim, obviously, who does a golf group. He does a virtual golf group. He gets together every couple of weeks. If you're not a Zoom person, start using it. Because right now, until things go back to whatever the new normal is, you're going to see this becoming like more prevalent than it already is. I read somewhere that before the pandemic, okay, don't quote me on these statistics. Before the pandemic, Zoom had 19 million users. As of a week ago, they were approximately at 370 million. So if you think that suddenly all these people are going to stop using this device, they're not. So take some time, work with this. One of the easiest things to do, I did a family reunion. I brought all my family together, which was really fun because we're in Pennsylvania and Chicago and California and Florida and all sorts of stuff. I told you I did my high school. So it's a great way to be able to get to see people and be able to create those networks. All right, enough about Zoom. Let's move on to some networking stuff. Also, everybody, I don't know if I've said this already, if you have questions about anything networking wise, anything I can answer for you, please put it in the chat box. And some of you are probably saying, well, Dave, why do I have to, write them in the chat box? Because I am assuming that Jessica probably documents these questions. So if she can start to see questions that are repeatedly asked, she can start forming, answers and solutions and other training tools to address those specific questions. So if you have questions, okay, please write them in the chat box. I'll be glad to answer them. I think Sheila's here. I think either Julia or Sheila. Julia, there you go. See, it's a good thing I can read lips. Julia's keeping an eye on the Zoom. So, on the chat. So please put in any questions you have and I'll answer anything I can for you. All right, let's go back to the whole part about when you go to network for a job, don't look for a job. When, I've been to more, so many of these career events. Not the Career Connector ones because it's a different group there. But I've been to so many events where I bumped into people where they're currently, in transition. And the first thing they do is I'll say, hey, Bob, how you doing? Oh, well, I'm currently in transition. Oh, Bob, man, that's got to be tough. And I will always ask the question, what are you looking for? And then what Bob does is Bob recites his entire resume to me. No offense. I can't help Bob. Let me rephrase that. I can't hire Bob. Okay, they just laid off a third of the people at my company. So to say that we're not hiring anybody, we are not hiring anybody, except in Pune, India, and it's for technology folks. So if you want to move to Pune, reach out to us because I think we have openings. The point that I am making is when you talk to people and you meet people, whether it be Zoom or live or over the phone or whatever, just get to know these people. I've shared with you that I'm a huge movie buff. Jessica shared I've got a beautiful wife and I've got a couple of kids. These are great things to talk about. She also shared my 3 vices, which truthfully, one of them is no longer a vice. It is now considered a savior because of this whole pandemic. My 3 vices are Diet Mountain Dew. Any of you health fanatics in there, leave me alone. Okay, it's not heroin, so just leave me alone. And the worst part is I drink Diet Mountain Dew and I work for a health company. Okay, so if you want to talk about the amount of abuse I get, you have no idea. Secondly, I do enjoy an occasional cigar, so leave me alone on that one. But my savior through all of this has been a good bottle of red wine. And I share this with people, okay, because if one of those three things is, kind of grabs your attention, it creates connections between us. I mentioned that I golf. When I mention this stuff, do I tell you this stuff because you really care? Some of you will and some of you won't, but those of you that do care, that's the beginning of a connection. If all I know about is where you used to work and what you're looking for and the kind of job you want and, why it sucks that, things happen to you because of the pandemic, I get it. Guys, I was connected to 700 people that got let go in a 3-hour period by email. Okay, so I understand what a lot of you are going through. If you're going to really do this, okay, when you start talking to people, stop asking them for a job, because that's one of the biggest problems. Another tip I'll share with you. A lot of times I ask the question, I even have this written on here, let people know, good, see, look, I still have notes. I let people know that you're in career transition. Do you have any idea how many people in this room right now have not told their family and friends they're currently in transition? Because, oh, I'm embarrassed. Oh, I don't want people to know. Oh, it's, I only had this job for 4 months and I got let go. I got laid off. First of all, if you can't tell the people that are closest to you, who can you tell them? Who loves you the most? Who will try and help you the most? Your family and your friends. But here's the challenge that you're causing them. Many of you are probably saying to yourself, well, Dave, I'm telling my family and friends and they're not helping me at all. They're not giving me any advice. They're not telling me anything. They're not giving me any suggestions of where I can look or any possible openings. No offense to any of you, because you're all lovely people. Okay, it's your fault. It's not theirs. Sorry about being blunt, but I can be because I'm in my own house. It falls on you, because here's the thing. If you call your family and friends and say, oh man, I got laid off. I need a job so badly. What do you have? Who do you know? What do you have? I'll take anything. Oh, I love that one. Okay. If you're going to ask people to help you, okay, make sure you know what you're looking for. This is the next tip on my sheet. See, you can't see it because of my backdrop, but I'll still hold it up because it's what I do and it's kind of fun. And as my wife always says, if it's fun once, it's fun 6 times. So here's my point. If you're going to start networking for work, if you're going to start looking for a job, know what you want before you start looking. This is something that I know Jessica spouts at every time I've ever heard her speak. The challenge is, I'll give you a really quick story. I was at another church. Okay, what a surprise. In McLean, Virginia. There was a career transition group there. And the only reason I used to go to this one is I had good friends who lived in that neighborhood. So I would go there probably once, maybe twice a year. And they would get a huge group, 200 people in this church. This thing was really well known. And there was a time I was there and I asked the question, if I asked you to write down 3 companies right now that you'd like to go work for. Oh, no. I asked them to grab a piece of paper and a pencil and write down 3 companies they want to go work for right now. Like if somebody handed you the golden ticket and said, you name me 3 companies you want to go work for, one of them will hire you right now. I asked them to write this down. I then followed up that request by asking the question, how many of you wrote down 3 companies? About 1/3 of the hands went up. 200 people, 1/3 of the hands went up. So the first words out of my mouth where how in hell do you expect me to help you look or land a job when you have no idea what you're looking for? Take the time to get some idea of what you're looking for. And when I mean some idea, I don't mean, oh yeah, Dave, this is one of my favorites. I'm looking for something in IT. You have to understand that for people in IT, they get it. For those people that think the letters IT mean the word it, they don't get it and they can't help you. Make it a little clearer. So for instance, when I left the job before I came to MindBody, okay, I made a career step into real estate, gigantic, humongous, colossal mistake. Decided to get out of that after about 1.5 years. And you're all saying to yourself, if it was such a mistake, why did it take you 1.5 years to get out? That's a whole nother conversation. So I got out of this job, so I started looking for another job. And I knew going out, I wanted to be in training. That's all I wanted. I didn't want to be in sales. I didn't want to be in management. You know, I had owned a photography business for a while. I didn't want to go into photography. I actually did look at wine, but there's very few jobs in the wine business, especially ones where they pay you to sample. Okay, I didn't get any of that. I couldn't find any of those. But when I did this, all I focused on was training positions. Because if I was going to go to my friends and my family and my network, and I'm very lucky. I've lived in the Valley. I've lived here, wow. I've lived here coming up on almost 40 years. I've been here since 82. Is that almost 40 years? Yeah, it's 38 years. So I have a very extensive network of people. I'm connected to about 8,100 people on LinkedIn. And I don't say this to brag. I say this that if I'm going to request something from them, I have to know what I'm looking for. I can't go to them and go, oh, well, I left this last job and I'm looking for something, you know, who do you know? Okay, I can't ask that question because they're going to go, I can't help you because I don't know what you're looking for. So here is my advice. Get some idea of what you're looking for. And I understand there are some of you, wait, let me compartmentalize this. There are some of you that have an idea of what you want. Dig into that a little bit. Not only do you want to get an idea of what you want, get an idea of where you'd like to work. So for instance, there might be somebody in here that is looking for a job in banking. Well, banking could be a million things. It could be, you know, a teller. It could be a bank manager. It could be that person that sits in the vault and counts all the money. That would be a cool job. So there's lots of jobs to be had. So what I'd like you to find, you know, so I don't know where exactly I could shift you best. Maybe you could give me an idea of where you'd like to work. Because here's the point I'm making. So say you want to use banking as the example. And I don't know anything about banking really, but say you reach out to me and go, Dave, I'm trying to find anything at either Chase or Wells Fargo. It just so happens I know a couple of people at Wells Fargo. To be blunt, I have no idea what they do there. Okay, but that's not the point. People, when they try to network to find jobs and to connect with people, is they want to connect with the CEO. They want to connect with that one person that can hire them. Well, guys, you probably know this by now. It doesn't work that way. You don't automatically say, I want to get a job at Chase. And somebody goes, oh, I know the CEO. They'll hire you tomorrow. Doesn't work that way. All you're trying to do is find one person inside that company. So you want to get a job at Chase. And I know, you know, Janet Johnson, who works at Chase. I'm going to say, hey, reach out to Janet Johnson. Now, Janet Johnson's a teller. So obviously Janet Johnson cannot hire you. But I would put you in touch with Janet Johnson. And you reach out to her and go, hey, Janet, you know, this is whatever my name is. You know, Dave Sherman recommended that I talk to you because I understand that you work at Chase. Oh, yeah, nice to talk to you, blah, blah, blah. Talk, learn some stuff about each other. But at that point, Janet can't hire you. So Janet's going to go, you know something, I don't know if I can help you. I don't know if there's anybody in our branch But I do happen to have a really good relationship with one of the HR managers in our corporate office. Why don't you let me, pass your name on to them? It's the whole 6 degrees of separation. Please understand that a lot of people, when they look for jobs, they think it's a 1 degree of separation. I want to find a job, I get the CEO. No, I want to find a job, I get a bank teller, I get a bank manager, I get a branch, super, I get a VP, I get a C-level executive, and I finally get to the person necessary. This is going to take some time. I would love to say to you, oh yeah, just do this and you'll land a job like that. Okay, I wish that was the case. One of the things I always say when I do this presentation is I will guarantee you, every one of you is going to find a job. I will guarantee it right now. The problem is I can't tell you when. You're the one that's responsible for when. Okay, so as you're doing this, as you're starting to, so I had said, for those of you that know a little about what you're looking for, dig into that and get a little clearer. So the clearer information you can give me, the more I could potentially help you. For those of you that have no idea what you really want to do, you're at that point in your life where you're going, oh man, I have no idea what I want to do. My recommendation, go on all the job boards and just see what's out there. I've always loved ZipRecruiter. LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, I was at Mobile Mini. I ran their training department for about 2 years. I got that from ZipRecruiter. LinkedIn, I actually found my job at MindBody through LinkedIn. But I would recommend you go on the job boards. And the coolest part about job boards is they have a search box. You can put in anything. I will share with you, I've gone to search boxes on job boards and I have typed in wine sampler. Okay, unfortunately, the response I'm getting back is 0, but I've put stuff in there for wine. There's people that are looking for wine reps or, things like that. Now, there's only like 3 jobs in the Western Hemisphere, unfortunately. But you can put in anything. If you want to be, an artist, put in artist. If you want to, like for instance, when it came to training, I put in training manager, training director, director of training, manager of training. Another one that's really big right now, because that's actually my title, I am the team lead sales training. Okay, so that's another one. I also, if you didn't know, there used to be a training department. It's not called training department anymore. It's now called sales enablement. You have to go on these job boards and search for everything. Anything that you think of. If you're sitting there saying to yourself, I watched that whole Tiger King show and I want to be a lion tamer. Put in that search box, lion tamer, and see what comes up. Say you want to do something with animals where you want to, work at a zoo. And guys, I know some of you are going, oh, these examples are ridiculous. No, they're not. They're not ridiculous because you're the only one that's going to limit yourself to what you might consider doing. The coolest part about these job boards is there's a gazillion jobs on these boards. I want you folks to start looking at some of the gazillion jobs that are on these boards and put in anything. Obviously they have the ones, sales, if you put in, salesperson, put in account executive, put in, another one, which this was new to me, SDR, okay, sales development representative. Okay, there's all sorts of new acronyms. When I went to work at MindBody, it took me 2 weeks to understand what anything meant because everything was an acronym. But learn what these are, because what will happen is as you go through this, you're going to put something in that search box and you're going to go, that would be a cool job. And then what do? We take the title of that job, put it in the search box, and search that. And then a whole bunch more jobs are going to come up. And then you're going to be looking through them and looking through them. That looks like a cool job. Let's see what I can find in there. Take that, put it in the search box. Folks, right now you have nothing but time. And you're at home a lot. Okay, so my recommendation is to find the job with, and it doesn't matter which one. There are some, I mean, Jessica probably knows, Jessica and her team probably know far more about job boards than I will ever know. Okay, but my recommendation is find a couple of them that you like, okay, and start working on them. Now, one thing I do like to put in here, we always talk about this because I hear this from a lot of people, is they're saying, oh, I'm looking for a job and I just really can't find anything. There's just nothing out there. There are no jobs. Well, there are no restaurant jobs. There are very few spa and salon jobs. There are very few jobs as a masseuse right now. But there's a lot of jobs out there. Okay, I guarantee you there's a lot of openings for sales trainers. Okay, you just have to understand that while there is a lot going on in the world, people are still hiring. So remember that as you're doing this. Okay, but one of the things I want to share with you, and I'm going to make this really clear as I can. Okay, you have to treat your job hunt just like a job. This is not the kind of thing where you wake up at 7:30 in the morning. Oh Lord, I can't even imagine getting up that late. 7:30 in the morning, have your cup of coffee, sit outside because the weather in the morning is still pretty nice. Say, maybe I should go look for a job, and you spend an hour and a half looking at some job boards, and you get bored of that, and then you go do whatever you want to do for the rest of the day. No. If you want to find a job relatively quickly, you have to treat your job hunt just like a job. I'm not saying 40 hours, okay, because I think that would drive you to drink, okay? If you really, for 8 or 9 hours a day, that's all you did. If you do, anyone in here that decides to spend 8 hours a day looking for a job, I will guarantee you'll have a job within 2 weeks. Because anybody that has that much tenacity, okay, that much work ethic, that much drive is going to have a job very quickly. Because it's funny, people always say, oh, so-and-so got a job so fast. How did this person get a job so fast? I'm so much more qualified than them. Okay, it's not because you're more or less qualified. They worked harder. It's really that simple. As I said, I worked for a wellness company. So everybody around me is like buff. I mean, these people are ridiculous. And they're also 12. Every person who works there is literally 12. Okay, maybe 30. But they're all in the majority of these people are all in perfect shape. They're yoga instructors and they do Pilates. Did you know there's 9 different kinds of yoga? I mean, when I first heard about yoga, I was confused and I thought there were 2 kinds, chocolate and vanilla. Get it? Yoga, yogurt. Yeah, in my head, that was kind of funny. The rest of you, I could see by the looks on your faces, most of you didn't, and that's okay. You have to put the time in to be able to find these jobs. Okay, you really have to. Okay, take the time, talk to people, connect with people, get on Zoom calls, come to Career Connectors. As Jessica has said, I have had the great fortune of knowing her ever since she started this. And, I've always said to her, one of my dreams is for her to book me for a presentation and her to call me 3 days before and say, Dave, I don't need you. Everybody has a job. It hasn't happened yet, but I'm still holding on to that. Well, right now, because of what's going on, Jessica has to be one of the most important people there is right now. Because her and her team know more about helping people find jobs and getting them through career transition than just about anybody. So come to these events. And especially now, you don't even have to leave your house. For the time being, it's all on Zoom. And I really hope that they continue to do the video because I think there's more of a connection there than just hearing people's bunch of random voices. Let me see if I'm missing anything here. Let you know what you're looking for. LinkedIn and Facebook. I am assuming that you have had a million conversations about using LinkedIn and Facebook. Now, a lot of times people, when I say those things, LinkedIn is obviously the most corporate one. It's probably the best one to use, but I also use Facebook. Okay, I might have confused those. LinkedIn is more professional, but I like using Facebook for a couple of reasons. One, Facebook adds color. Facebook lets you learn things about people. Like if you go to my site, you're probably going to think all I've done for this pandemic is watch movies and drink wine, which is not far from the truth. Okay, but at least you'll get to see pictures of my family, and you'll learn things about me, and you'll kind of see how I think and stuff like that. Every job I've ever landed has been because of information I've gotten off of Facebook, because it gives color. It lets people see who you are. Now I understand not all of you are on Facebook. That's okay. Okay, I really love it because it gives me a chance to be able to keep in touch with people. Oh wow, I was going to make a political comment, but I'm not. So I got a couple other things I could cover. Julia, are there any questions? Is there, if you want to unmute and let's just kind of talk about this. Is there anything in the chat box that you think that people are asking?
We don't have a lot of questions yet, and so people can still drop questions, but I do want to ask you, do you have any additional thoughts on nurturing relationships right now, or making additional virtual connections? So we use the Zoom, we use LinkedIn, but what's that follow-up look like? Like, how do we build that relationship?
Well, a couple of things. To build an existing relationship, hold on, I need to write something down here. Because those of you that are as experienced as I am, you know that if you don't write it down, it will be forgotten very quickly. So how do you expand a relationship? One, it takes a little bit of work. You have to be, sometimes you have to do this. Like a lot of times you'll meet somebody and then you'll sit back and wait for them to say something. Every so often, if you know somebody through LinkedIn, send them a message. Hey, Joanne, I saw your name on LinkedIn today and just kind of wanted to check in with you. How are things at, Wells Fargo? Love to have a chance to catch up with you sometime. Let's Zoom sometime soon. See, you could say, let's Zoom sometime soon. And it rhymes, and it's really kind of cute and a little annoying after a while, but it's really kind of cute. But kind of stuff like that. Send people messages. Pick up the phone and call people. I won't lie to you. I was literally having breakfast this morning, and there's a very dear friend of mine that I have known almost my entire life, probably since I was, I can't believe I'm going to tell you this. I used to play itty bitty basketball with his brother when I was 8 years old. Now you're all looking at me going, at no time in your life were you ever itty or bitty. Oh, there you go. Somebody's there. See, this is the other thing. You get to say hello to the FedEx man while you're on a presentation. But I've not talked to this guy in probably 6 months. Nah, less than that. Probably 4 months. But I've not talked to him since the whole pandemic broke. I'm going to reach out to him today. For no other reason besides say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Now, these people that you're calling, the one thing I had to write down is I need you to write down these 4 words. The most important 4 words you will ever use when looking for a job. And those words are, who do you know? You need to be asking people, everybody you know. This is why it's important for you to know what you're looking for. So when I was looking for a training role, everybody I would talk to, I reached out to Jessica on this. I'm sure I talked to Sheila about this. Okay, I would ask them, hey, I'm trying to find something in the training world. Who do you know that might be in that world or might have anything, know anybody? And it's possible they don't know anybody. But say, for instance, I said to her, hey, I'm trying to get this training job in mind body. Okay, Jessica might know, oh my gosh, I know, Aaron Stead, who happens to be one of our SVPs, Aaron Stead, I know, is somebody who works there. You might want to reach out to them. If you ask people, who do you know? They'll help you, but you got to make sure you give them enough information to, so they can help you. It goes back to, what are you looking for? Oh, I'm looking for anything. That doesn't help me. I'm looking for something in sales. Doesn't help me. I'm looking for something in management. Doesn't help me. Tell me a company you want to go work for. Okay, whether it be, it really doesn't matter, but you have to make sure that you stay in touch with these people because you have to nurture these relationships. You can't meet somebody the first time and expect you to have created this great relationship. This is one of the coolest things about Zoom is you get the opportunity to develop these kind of relationships. have conversations with people. It's one of the things I love about Facebook is I get to stay in touch with people. The coolest part about it is if I see somebody that I've not talked to for a while and they have posted something that is of interest, I'll say something. And it's not like you have to know everything about it and go, or you could just put oh, wow, that was really funny, or wow, great to see you on Facebook. Why do I always go like this when I'm talking about typing? I have no idea why. But that's the kind of stuff you have to be able to do to be able to build these relationships on Facebook and LinkedIn. So yeah, write them messages, send them notes, pick up the phone, do some Zoom, whatever works best for you, but definitely stay in touch with these people because there's a level of work involved.
Hey, Dave, how about follow-up? Can you talk a little bit about follow-up?
Follow-up is pretty simple. If you connect with somebody, say for instance, you're on a Zoom call, or say you go to a networking event that has social distancing and you meet somebody and you've had a connection. See, what happens is you have a connection to go, wow, this is somebody that I'd really like to talk to. And they give you their business card and you come home and you throw your business card on your desk and it sits there and collects dust for 3 weeks and you go, it's been too long, I can't reach out to them. When you come back, once you've met somebody, immediately follow up with a note. Okay, say, hey, Jessica, it was a pleasure meeting you at the Career Connector meeting. Thanks very much for being part of it. I really liked what you had to say about the banking business. Love to have a chance to chat further. Would you be available sometime next week? And she's going to say yes or no. But here's the thing. If you're expecting everybody else to come up to you and to call you and to help you, it's a pipe dream. It just doesn't happen that way. You have to step out of this, okay? You really have to make sure that people know, that people know that you're looking for something and that you're willing to participate with them, okay? It's really vitally important that you do this. So that's how I would suggest you do it.
Yeah, Dave, we had a question about facial expressions and body languages on video. Do you have any thoughts on that?
The thing I always fall back to, and you might not love this answer, and I apologize, be as genuine as you can be. Be authentic. I mean, if you see me, what you see is exactly what you get. If we were in the same room, if we were at the church off of Pinnacle Peak in Scottsdale, and I did this presentation and I stepped off and we didn't have another conversation, I would be the exact same person. When you're on a Zoom call, don't restrict yourself. To sit here like this is not a good look, okay? If you move your arms a lot, move your arms a lot. Now, you do have to be careful about facial expressions because we react faster than we speak, which means if somebody says something that you might not agree with or you don't share their enthusiasm, your face might show what you're thinking before your mouth proves it. So just be careful about that. But I show all, it's like smile, have some fun, because I'll tell you, if you're kind of solemn and, for sake of a better word, miserable during the entire time I'm talking to you, I'm not going to have great likelihood of connecting with you. I'm often described, and it's one of my favorite descriptions, people describe me as a happy person. Am I always happy every moment of every day? No, because if I was, I'd probably be in some padded room somewhere. But for the most part, I am a happy person. People like hanging around with happy people. They don't like hanging around with depressing, sorry, I knew I shouldn't have said that word. If by some chance you're somebody that is dealing with, a depression or something like that, please make sure you get help. I'm not trying to minimize that, but my point is, if you're the grumpy Gus, okay, if you are that person that's always looking at the glass half empty, if you think that there's this big black cloud over your head all the time, I will be the last person that'll want to connect with you. Right now, things are challenging. They're not, I don't call them hard. I don't call them tough. Things are challenging. And unfortunately, they're probably going to be challenging for a little bit, but who doesn't love a good challenge? So the thing is, you know, if you're going to do this, if you're going to meet with people, just, you know, try and find some happiness. You know, I watch movies, as I told you. I try to find goofy stuff online. Anything I could do to, you know, put a smile on my face that's kind of how I get through this.
Hey, Dave, did you talk about your 4 favorite words, or did I miss it?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up because I saved it till the very end. Yeah, who do you know? I use that with everything. Like, for instance, what were we looking for? Oh, we had to get our garage door. Somehow it got a big dent in it. No, I didn't run into it. I know that's what you're thinking. And we had to get the garage door replaced. So we got our garage door replaced. And then after you get it replaced, what do you have to do with it next? You have to paint it to make sure it matches all the same garage doors, because we have an HOA. Well, I didn't know who to do. Do you know who to call? So I put on Facebook. I said, who do you know that can paint our garage door? And I always write, who do you know? Okay, I found exactly who I wanted. They did a great job, and it was at a good price. You need to be doing the same thing for jobs. Say, for instance, you want to get a job at MindBody. You want to get a job at fill in the blank. I need you to start relying on your network and ask them the question, hey, I'm looking for something at, you know, Fidelity Mortgage. I don't even know if there is a Fidelity Mortgage, but go with me. Okay, Fidelity Mortgage, who do you know? Don't say somebody specific. I understand you want the hiring manager. I understand you want the CEO, but it doesn't work that way. I said that in the beginning. Get anybody. Identify one person. Like, if you want to do something at MindBody, okay, real challenge right now, but if you still want to come work for us, okay, reach out to me. I will do everything possible to put you in touch with the people that are hiring. Okay, I'm not going to hire you, okay, because that's not my role. But I can tell you, if you want a job there, reach out to me because I know people. That's what you're looking for. Who do you know? Who's that one person you can reach out to and say, hey, Jessica Pierce said I should reach out to you. I'm really trying to, you know, get it in with fill in the blank. That's how I would use it.
That's great. So we are coming to the end. If anyone has any other questions for Dave, drop them in right now. And then Dave, I think you'll be on a little bit longer to go ahead and answer anything else that comes through the chat. Any final words before we transition off, Dave?
Best thing I could do, keep your head up. You know, this thing that we're going through, everybody's going through this. I believe that, you know, some of you have it a whole lot harder than I do. I probably have it harder than some people, but understand everybody is going through this. Every single person you see and you meet is going through something. I remember somebody taught me that. You know, everybody you meet, if you treat them like this is somebody who is going through a challenging time in their life, you're going to treat them differently. Everyone on this planet is going through a challenging time right now. Treat them as nice and with as much dignity and kindness as you can. Okay, and that will probably come back to you too. That's it.
So good. Thank you, Dave. We have tons of people just saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you in the chat. So grateful for you and your friendship over the last 11 years. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Yay.
Always a pleasure.
All right, now we are going to transition over to a couple hiring companies we are excited to have today. So Lisa Marcus is here from National Bank of Arizona. She manages local and remote teams of high volume and exempt recruiters in Arizona, Texas, and California. She's loved being a manager, motivator, recruiter, and HR professional for the past 20 years. Her focus is on developing innovative recruiting strategies and partnerships with priority around building diverse and inclusive work environments. Lisa's partnered with many local workforce and nonprofit organizations to find opportunities, build confidence, teach interview skills, accountability checks, and ongoing career development. And Lisa, just as a side note, we were with a national bank previously, and we have just transitioned over to National Bank of Arizona for all of our accounts because of how wonderful they have been through the PPP, the Payroll Protection program, and they're the only bank that continued to follow up with us on a regular, and we had many applications in. So I am so glad. It was perfect timing. I was so glad you were going to be here. So thank you, Lisa Marcus, for being here today.
Thank you, Jessica. That makes me so happy to hear you say that, because in this very trying time, to Dave's point, dignity and kindness, I am more impressed with my company than I've ever been before through this SBA PPP stuff. We have actually loaned some of our recruiters to the loan ops department, and we're like sharing employees throughout the company, over 10,000 employees, to get these small business owners the protection that they need. Somebody said yesterday they were able to see, before they funded the loan and hit that button to send those thousands of dollars to a small business, they could see the amount of employees that that company had with them. And she said she got goosebumps and tears knowing that. She knew how many people she was helping directly affect. So that has been extremely impressive. So thank you. That was a great segue. So I just want to make sure I have control of my the remote here. Oh yeah, I can just flip it like that. Oh, awesome. Okay, well, as Jessica mentioned, my name is Lisa Marcus, Regional Recruiting Manager at Zions Bank Corporation, which really is National Bank of Arizona while I'm here in Arizona. It's Amegy Bank while I'm in Texas, and it's California Bank and Trust when I'm in California. So I have recruiters in all 3 states that report up to me, and then we report up to what I like to call the mothership, which is in Salt Lake City, Zions Bank Corporation. So National Bank of Arizona, we have just about 600 employees throughout the state of Arizona. We have about 60 branches, as far north as Page and as far south as Sonoyta. Relationships are what we are about. So I'm definitely looking forward to just kind of introducing you to the company today. So National Bank of Arizona, we live on 5 core values. And this is what makes me so proud of NBAZ is we are walking these core values that we talk about every day. We look for a can-do attitude. We cannot service our customers and elevate the relationships that we have in Arizona without that can-do attitude. To Dave's point before, points about building relationships, you can't do any of that if you're not genuine and approachable. So a lot of our branch managers and our lenders, they have a very elevated approach to genuine and approachable and how that relates to our customers. True partners, I come from the big bank. I was 10 years at a large bank, and partnership is a word that we use, but what does it really mean? There's so many companies or so many employees at a big bank, and the relationships tend to get a little bit cloudy. So true partners was something that it kind of took me a minute to get used to that concept coming to a community bank. Everybody was so available, and we had exposure to executive leadership, and I had never had that before. So the partnerships speak for themselves at NBAZ. And then we are Arizona. Talk about an Arizona business savvy. We eat, sleep, and breathe Arizona. I mean, you ask any of our executives, even our CEO, most of them were born and raised in Arizona. They just have a true passion for what we do here. Everything from the gorgeous sunsets to our employment market and just how we kind of rally around our folks. So I always like to say we're a small bank, but we feel big because we're backed by Zions Bank Corporation. And just a little bit about Zions. We are one of the nation's premier financial services companies. We have assets exceeding $70 billion. We operate in 11 states. We're a national leader in SBA, which we just kind of talked about a little bit with. We've just been so successful since the CARES Act was signed into law. Billions of dollars over 20,000 applications in the pipeline when we started this, with the reality that there's no way we can get to 20,000 applicants overnight. Most of them weren't even customers. They were just so desperate for assistance. So over the last month, it is absolutely amazing to see what we have accomplished. So impressive. I definitely encourage you all to look more into it. So one of the big pieces of working for a community bank is, to be honest, we don't have big bank money, right? We're a community bank. We rely solely on the relationships that we build and cultivate in our communities. So along with that, we look for talent with that can-do attitude and that genuine and approachable mindset. And in return, we try to offer the most competitive benefits we can for our employees. So I always find it's important when you're looking at a company to know, okay, we know what your products and services are. We know that you employ people that can carry out those products and services, but what is the company culture and what does it really mean? So we are a culture of growth. Growth does not happen overnight, so I'm happy to have conversations with anybody that wants a true definition of what growth means as we kind of climb our career ladders. Definitely through production, integrity, and cultivation of these relationships, that's what's going to get your name on the map here. And again, we're not just Arizona. So the farther you grow in your career, the opportunities will present themselves more and more. But we can't really, cultivate, and we can't really grow unless we're comfortable in our jobs and we're making a decent wage for our family, and we have benefits that can assist our families as well. So we do have extremely competitive health benefits for both full-time and part-time. Defining total compensation, consumer-driven health care. We have income protection, 401ks, generous vacation plans. We do a lot of, and this is one thing that is important to me and I have found to be extremely successful at our company, is the education and developmental training that we do for folks. You do need some sort of experience to come into the bank. For those higher level roles, sometimes you have to take a step back to take a step forward. So we're going to help you with those steps forward. We have everything from early career banker training, which I'll get into in just a minute. We have everything from our iAchieve department, our learning and development department, mentorship programs. We have internship programs. So we really do offer the training. So ultimately we can grow you and keep you and make sure that, you're like most of our employees, which have been with the company 10, 15, 20 years. We do a lot of community involvement, and this is definitely a high point for the company, National Bank of Arizona. We do a lot of volunteering. We reward you for volunteering. You can earn a day off. You can earn some vacation time. We do all sorts of acknowledgments and really push people to get out there and volunteer. Employee recognition programs. We do a lot of wellness. No Saturdays at our bank. No Saturdays or Sundays. That's a huge benefit to those that are on our retail side. And really what's most interesting about our company is because we're smaller, you have a lot of access to leadership. You can be in your office processing a loan or on the phone with a customer, and the CEO will walk right through the lobby and know you by your first name and, kind of give you a hi and a shout out. And you're like, okay, wow, that was the CEO. Like, it's just kind of cool how accessible our leadership is. So those are just some things to look forward to as far as our benefits package. And along with the educational development and mentorship programs, I'm just trying to get on sorry, I'm going backwards. We do offer a banker development program. So for some folks that really they know their path is sales, customer relationships, business relationships. They really want to get into the financials and the credit side. We have a program for that. So in 2019, we established an enterprise-wide college recruiting program with two components. We have the Banker Development Program, which you enter into credit training. And then we also have a retail internship program, which will kind of give you more of the 360 view of a bank and really kind of point out how to grow from there. So these are 18-month classes. We do require an accounting or finance or related business degree. And this is just an excellent way to really jump into banking and start your career. And then right now, we don't have a whole lot of jobs open because of the situation that we're in. But one thing I do know about recruiting is even though it slows down for a while, now that we're kind of figuring out, okay, we're able to work online, we've got these CDC safety measures in line that are working. So we're going to ramp up anytime. It always works that way. Last year, we kind of dipped a little bit and then we shot right back up. And even though this dip is going on a little bit longer than we hoped for, the jobs will start opening up again. This is consistent, and we know this. So right now, we're looking for some bankers. I'm really looking for a branch manager in Cottonwood. We've got some of those credit analysts, those banker development positions open. If you did want to visit our career site, there's the links for you. I am happy to connect with anybody on LinkedIn and answer any questions. But that is my spiel for today. Can I answer any questions for anybody right now?
I don't see, great job, Lisa, thank you. I don't see questions in the chat yet, but if you guys have questions for Lisa, she'll stick around for a few minutes and go ahead and continue to answer those questions. So we did drop in the URL for the National Bank of Arizona career site. So
awesome.
Thank you so much, Lisa. We loved having you here today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yes. Okay, we are going to transition over to Ann Pierce. Has the best last name ever, by the way. So Ann has 20 years of recruiting, sourcing, growing companies, and building relationships. She says she loves what you do. When she loves what you do, it's not a job. And she has experience in mortgage financing, finance, IT, which is IT is technology, you know, going back to Dave's conversation, telecommunications and warehouse. Cenlar FSB has been and the opportunity to continue her passion by allowing her to bring ideas, give her tools to learn, work on projects, and ongoing growing experience. She is married with 4 kids, ages 9 to 24, so she's all over right now as a family, and enjoys spending time playing sports, travel, swimming, board games, and the latest Mario Kart. She is still trying to beat her children in the race, and I have never won, just so you know, either. So please help me welcome Ann Pierce.
Thanks, Jessica. Good morning and happy Wednesday to everybody. Very cool for me for my first Zoom, virtual, so thank you. A little bit about us as a company. Here, let me go through these screens. You know, we were founded back in 1912. What's been very fortunate with us is not only are we growing, but we've been fortunate to not have any type of rifts, layoffs at all. And that's one of the things about us that makes us really unique. We're very stable. We are also an employee-owned company. We were founded back in 1912. Our headquarters is out in New Jersey. Since then, we've grown. We've got 2 sites out in Arizona, in Tempe, and then we have our offices in New Jersey, and then we also have another office in Missouri. We are an employee-owned company, and that's amazing because basically what that means is after being with us for a year, you do get employee stock, and you know, we don't charge you for any of that. It's free of charge. And then after 3 years, you are completely vested. So in essence, it's treating the company as your own, right? And that's the cool thing about being an employee-owned company is you really do have a stake in the game when it comes to the company. Currently, right now, we have about 163 open positions that we're hiring for, and we have over 3,000 employees with us. We're about 95% remote right now due to the COVID-19, working with the business. And our benefits are great, and a little bit about us. What's really, really important to us is our employees, right? Without them, there is no us. And that's kind of how it works. And then obviously ongoing training. So what we're hiring for right now is call centers, risk, customer service, human resources, a multitude of areas of opportunities for us. Employees mean everything to us, and giving them the tools to succeed. So when you see ongoing training and education, what that means is in terms of looking for work, and to kind of piggyback off of Dave, I think one of the most important things, and sometimes it's hard, especially when you're going through a transition, is go off your personality. I always tell people, it's sometimes hard to tell what you want to do, but when you go off of your personality, then it doesn't necessarily feel like a job. And, when you're looking at companies and you're reading those descriptions, don't let those scare you away, right? Because it's about you, and it's about, what you can bring, right? Can't teach personality, but you can give everybody the tools. So what we do is we have ongoing education for, tuition reimbursement. And then also we have this really cool ongoing training internally, and it's Cenlar University. So what we do is we give people the tools. We've got a phenomenal training team that has put all of this together. And once you're on board, if your path is, I want to grow into a risk position, or I want to grow into a leadership position, that's stuff that we can provide for you. Someone does a really good job with a lot of those training tools. Work-life balance, we're all human, right? So as being human, and as a company, that's something that we also work with, right? We understand, the needs of folks as well. So when we're talking to applicants, we find out, hours that you're looking for, even if it's positions that you may not have necessarily applied for. In a conversation with us, with one of our recruiters, we get to know you, and sometimes we actually just recommend, hey, you've applied for this, but this may sound like a better fit. So it's really developing that relationship. We want to create that win-win. Mentorship programs, community events, we're very, we're out in the communities working with, a lot of the folks out there, social events, and leaderships as well. Right now, again, some of our opportunities, customer service, default, collections, loss mitigation, claims, foreclosure, and more opportunities are coming around. So again, if you're interested in applying with us, just because you apply for that role, based off of the conversation, we want to do what's right. And, we can even talk about some of these opportunities as well. Here's our information, for recruiters, any one of us will definitely help out. We work as a team. So I think one of the biggest things I want to share about Cenlar is team. As a company, we really want to make sure that, again, we don't set anyone up for failure. So it's really important in the interview process, just even with the recruiters, to be honest and have that conversation, right? Whether it's, you're looking for hours, if it's a part-time job, we offer part-time opportunities as well. We're flexible. It's just having that conversation. If you're interested in any, call center, and that's something that you haven't done before, that's absolutely okay. As long as you're not scared to talk on the phone, that's okay. That's what we're here for, right? We're the SMEs, and our role is to be able to help give you guys the tools so that you can succeed with us and continue to grow. And speaking of growth, one of the things that Cenlar does that's also unique is, after 6 months of being with us, you actually have the opportunity to post out and look internally. What's really cool about us is we would rather lose the folks internally versus externally. And we're all human, and we all know that, there's a lot of folks that are looking to grow. So with that being said, that's where the Cenlar University comes in, all those training tools by our leaders, and posting out to those opportunities. When people post out, one of the suggestions that we recommend is, again, off your personality, and we allow folks to kind of navigate within the teams, talk to those leaders within the teams to find out, hey, so I know this is what you do, but, can I kind of get a day in the life of, right? And sit down and, kind of job shadow so that they can have that understanding. So I just wanted to share all those wonderful tools. I appreciate and I'm very thankful for Cenlar. I've been with Cenlar since 2016 when we first opened in Arizona. So it was very, I was very blessed to be able to see the growth, literally with, contractors hanging, from our roofs, and we're making, phone calls, talking to candidates. And then as we continue to grow. So as we outgrew one building and we got another, and then being part of seeing that growth has been great. I appreciate Cenlar for all they've done and all they've done for me. And, it's the best feeling in the world when you work for a company and you can deliver this type of message. And at the same time, be able to see that the candidates that have come in are seeing that growth path. So, very important for us. And, we do have the vested interest of, of the employees, that we have, and, also the candidates, right? It's a two-way street. And, just wanted to share with you that if there's any interest at all, I would be happy to talk to anybody, including guiding you into what might be best. And thank you.
Thank you, Anne. We really appreciate you being here today. Lots of great opportunities. I know you guys are growing and growing, so thank you so much. Anne will stick around for a little bit and engage in the chat if you have any questions for her. And then we are going to have one of our partners come in and talk about some training opportunities that are funded, both funded and not funded. He has a couple different opportunities. And then I'm going to close it out. We have connections with one-on-one support for you for resume review, LinkedIn coaching, and more. So I'm going to talk about all that right at the end. In the meantime, I'd like to welcome Stephen Hatch. He's been with Brighton College for just over 2 years. He started as a business partnership specialist and was recently promoted to the director of admissions. And his role is to assist the enrollment advisors and help make sure students are properly onboarded. He also worked very closely with the business development team to help nonprofits and other organizations find the right training programs. And Stephen helped us launch Career Connectors Academy. So please help me welcome Stephen Hatch.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Can everybody hear me okay?
You got you.
Perfect. Wonderful. Well, as Jessica said, I've been with Brighton now for about 3 years. I've had my hand basically in everything since I've been here, and I absolutely love it. One of the most important things about Brighton College is we want to help people get employed and find those positions that they've been wanting for a long time. Let me see here. I can't find there it is. Whoop, let me go back here. Awesome. So what I'm going to be talking to you guys about today briefly is the Career Connectors Academy training program. And so with this partnership, Brighton College is offering a lot of short-term certificate programs that allow people who are looking to transition into a new career. And right now, with many of us being stuck at home, it's a perfect opportunity to train and to learn new skills. I myself am currently training in different fields as well, trying to better myself for when the world opens back up again. I can, be able to help people even further. And so hopefully you're taking this opportunity to grow yourself and to learn new skills that'll make you more marketable as new positions and things start to open back up again. Let me see here. So yeah, Brighton College, we've been around for a very long time. Our main focus is working with those who are either working and not working or even underserved. So we work a lot with a lot of nonprofits and a lot of agencies who are helping people find jobs like Career Connectors. And we love being able to help those who are looking to get a better, get better skills, learn new talents and things like that. And one way we do that is we focus from the very beginning on making sure that we understand your natural talents and your behaviors. So we go through, we have a partnership with another company called Know Your Talents, and they provide basically what's called a Know Your Talents, a natural talents and skills assessment, so that we can get to know you better. And what this does is this also helps us be able to find the right fit for you, so that you can be able to find the right job that you're looking for. And so these are some of the short-term certificate opportunities that we have, and these are discounted through the Academy with Career Connectors. So if anyone is interested in anything related to technical support, coding and programming, cybersecurity, medical programs such as medical coding and billing, medical office administrative assistance, pharmacy technician is also a very popular program right now, as well as some of the web and graphic design, and then of course some computer courses and classes that you can take. And as Jessica mentioned, these are some of those that are going to be discounted, so these would cost you, but we also have some opportunities and ways that you can get programs covered for you for free. So as you look here, these are some of our programs. These are the allied health certificate programs that we are offering. So medical coding and billing, pharmacy tech. We also have medical records technician. And then I'm going to go ahead and skip over here so we can get through this. Here we go. Let's see. There we go. This is right here. This is really what I want to focus on with you guys today is for anyone. I saw in the chat earlier, there were some people interested in IT certifications and learning more about informational technology. And so what we're doing right now is we're partnering with Arizona at Work for the IT programs that we offer, which is our CompTIA certificate. So that is A+ and Network Plus, and as well as Security Plus. But the Arizona at Work SWIFI fund is actually going to be covering the cost of A+ and Network Plus, which is about $4,000, a little bit more than $4,000. So anyone who's interested in transitioning into an IT background, CompTIA is a perfect place to start. What you'll be able to do with A+ is everything hardware related. That will help you get into a great IT job, entry-level IT positions such as technical support, or even like help desk at a big company. And then of course, once you get into Network Plus, then you're focusing more on the network aspect of it, the internet, all the devices that are connecting to each other at an office. These are awesome opportunities to get started in the IT field, so that you can then progress and work for these big companies that'll hire you from like Cenlar, for example. They hire from within. They want to hire people and they want to help you and get you trained. So these are wonderful opportunities for you if you're looking to get into the IT field. Now, if you're interested in how you get that covered and how we can help you cover the cost of these programs, I'm going to have some more information for you here, and I'm going to skip over to it for making sure we have enough time. Let me see. On the Career Connectors website, there is a button for the Career Connectors Academy. If you are interested in learning more about these programs and how they can be covered for you free, how you can take them for free, please click on that Career Connectors Academy, and then you'll see a page about free IT training. And it looks like, I think Jessica put the link there for me. Thank you so much. So yes, fill out that form. It will find out if you pre-qualify for the funding. Even if you don't pre-qualify for the funding, we will find ways to help you get funding for these programs as best we can. So if you are interested, please right now, if you can, click on that link or copy that link and paste it into your browser. There's a real quick, it'll take you 30 seconds to fill out that survey. It asks a few questions so that you can find out if you qualify for the free funding. And if you do, I will work with you through that process. Arizona at Work is still serving the community right now, which means that they're doing virtual meetings, and they're more than happy to take on new clients. In fact, I just got an email this morning that a client was approved through Arizona at Work, and so funding is coming through. So please, 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 my information is here on this screen. You can text me, you can call me, and I'd be more than happy to talk to you more about these programs and how you can get funded for them.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Stephen. We love to hear the success stories of people going through this training and getting these certifications. So thank you so much for the valuable stuff you guys provide to our community.
Absolutely.
All right. So we are, and here's the website that he was mentioning, and we also have dropped it in the chat as well. Okay, so I wanted to just go through a couple things as we close out today. First of all, if you have some additional topics that you would like us to address in the future of our events, please drop them in the chat right now. You may also email us at contact@careerconnectors.org if you have additional feedback. Sheila is going to launch a poll right now. We're going to ask you a couple questions, and if you just answer the poll, then you will see, once you answer it, the poll will go away. So just when she pops those up, just go ahead and answer the question and the poll will go away. So just to get some of the information on our webinar.
Hey, Jessica, just to let you know, I got to do the polling from the controlling computer, so I took the mouse back.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I think we just passed the partners. I just want to say thank you. These are the partners that we work with right now that make this program available to you throughout our community, both when we're in person and online. So we're incredibly grateful to all of them. And now the next page is we have a partnership with Best Companies AZ. They're an organization that helps award the best places to work in Arizona. And so we worked with them to create a website for this time period, for COVID-19 time period, that we went out and we verified companies in Phoenix that are hiring. That means we actually talked to them and they told us what they were hiring for. So we have 65 companies that we have verified, and then we have an additional 130 companies that have verified with Arizona at Work. So if you go out to this website that's listed here, and Julia also popped it in the chat, if you go out to this website, you can see what who those companies are, a little bit of information about them, and then there's a lot of resources, both for people that are looking for jobs and employers that might be going through some type of transition or having to riff or lay off right now. All right, so we have a couple things we'd like to provide to you guys. First of all, assessments were mentioned a couple times today. We have an agreement with Top Talent Consulting, and where you can have the DISC assessment at no cost. That DISC assessment will give you information on your communication style, your ideal work environment, and some great just behavioral traits that you have. We're also doing this blog today. We have someone writing up a blog with all the content from this event. Not only that, but we will also be posting the full event and webinar on our website, and I'll mention that in just a second. We are all over social media, so if you are interested in engaging with us on LinkedIn, on Facebook, or any of the platforms, LinkedIn and Facebook are probably our most active right now, but we are all over the place and putting out content on a regular basis based on what you guys are asking us for. All right, so we have this really cool program, you guys, that I want all of you to be involved with. So we have created this army of volunteers that are professionals. They are career coaches, professional certified resume writers, certified finance coaches, this army of volunteers. And so what we've done is, if you need some coaching, if you want some one-on-one coaching, whether you want somebody to look at your LinkedIn profile, maybe you need your resume reviewed, or you want to do some mock interviewing to prepare for a virtual interview, all of those resources are available to you at our website, careerconnectors.org, and you can go /coaching. It's also under our job seeker resources tab, and just tell us what you need. There's a short form with your name, and then you can check mark the areas that you would like to have some one-on-one coaching with. And then our coaches will reach out to you. They're shorter sessions, 10 to 15 minutes, but it will be directly for what you want to have a conversation about. I had somebody ask me yesterday, hey, I don't really know what I'm looking for right now. And I could tell she was really hesitant to even say that to me. And I said, you need to talk to one of our career coaches. You need to spend a few minutes with them, giving you some guidance and direction on how to figure that out. And she did. And so our awesome coordinator, Beth, is also volunteering with us to make all of these connections happen. So she will coordinate with you and with them to get that happen. So if you need any support at all, we want to be here to help you. So go check that out. All right. Sheila Coulomb is works on our team. She's amazing, and she has been killing it with booking our keynotes. Would you guys not agree with Dave today? And so she has been so busy booking all of our keynotes. And so the next event, we have Carrie Pfeffer, and we're gonna go on to the next level of networking and really genuine connections in the virtual world. So he's gonna deep dive a little bit more into the networking. We also have CVS, Randstad, and DES as our hiring companies today. As you've probably heard, especially if you're working with unemployment, their need for staff has increased significantly. They are getting 70 calls a second right now. And so they've already hired about 150 people. They're hiring more, but all three of those companies will be here next week. Then we have Gloria Peterson, who is going to be we don't have her title yet, but she's going to be talking about this virtual world and the way we represent ourselves and the way we interview, how to become a master at the virtual world. And right now we have Hacienda Healthcare, Charles Schwab, and TGen as our hiring companies. And then on May 27th, we are going to have Bridget McGowan. If you haven't heard Bridget, oh my goodness, you are ready. Get ready. She is a ride, man. How to show up and show out when you just want to shut down. Isn't that the reality so many of us are dealing with right now? So we're still working on the hiring companies, but every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific time through the end of June is when we will be having these events. And just so you know, the events will not end at the end of June. The schedule may look a little different, but we are reaching people all over the United States right now, and we will continue to have these events in a virtual format. All right, so here are the 3 ways we are trying to provide resources right now. If you go to our website, careerconnectors.org, you can sign up for our weekly updates that come out on Monday mornings. If you actually registered for the event today through Eventbrite, then we have your email address and you will start to get these emails on Monday mornings. And then we have 3 different ways we're providing content right now. These webinars, of course, every Wednesday morning, like I said, 9 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Mountain Standard Time, depending on where we are right now, but Pacific is where we're at right now. Then we are doing community updates about weekly. These are interviews that I am having with various people in our community. Excuse me. We are featuring, there's some content from Goodwill, from DES, there's gig economy jobs. We will be talking to some employers through those community updates. And so that is on our website. And then I do a daily career chat. So 3 to 5 minutes of something that is going on in our community right now to address something that's going on. So the topics are all over the place. We're doing something weekly on unemployment because people have a lot of questions about that. We have some job search tips in there. So any of those ways are ways that you can get some additional content during this time. All right, so want to thank all of our volunteers. Julia, thank you for being here on the chat and making us run. The Resume Writers Council of Arizona are the certified resume professionals that we work with. And then again, I said the army of volunteers. Gary, thank you for doing the event recap today, but truly an army of virtual coaches that make this happen. All right, so let's see, I think I got everything. Again, any other feedback or topics you'd like to hear, let us know. Feel free to drop them in the chat or send us an email. We are honored to be able to provide in our community this way. We're honored to be able to connect with you. We hope that the time that you spent with us today was well worth it. Know that we are praying for each of you that you do land into the career of your dreams. Thank you for being here today.